We have Miss Jackie with us. Welcome. Thank you very much for being out here.
Thank you. It was a long drive from right up the street.
Okay, so I need to talk to you straight away about that. I know you used to live in Frisco. Now you live in Allen.
Yep.
We are in Allen right now. How long did it take you to get here?
3 minutes. I swear. It took me 3 minutes. So it was a long trekking journey to get over here, let me tell you.
So if things really went down after party, we can just roll over to your house.
Straight to the house. Perfect.
Now, obviously I know people know you from wrestling, and I know you probably do plenty of like more wrestling-based conventions, everything like that. Do you make your way out to many like more card and sports collectible type things?
It depends every once in a while. I'm jack of all trades, so I love doing everything. Sports is my passion first and foremost. I'm a sport enthusiast, any sport, so I love doing this kind of stuff. I stay super active right now too. I have for all my life. But yeah, absolutely. Anytime I would get an opportunity to do something, whether wrestling related or just autograph session, anytime I can be with the fans, that's what I love to do.
So you said sports enthusiast, and you live around here. Favorite teams?
Honestly, well, I'm from Cleveland originally, so
what do you do right now?
I know. I don't know.
I know you're not about to say the Browns is your favorite team.
Every once in a while, it just sneaks out, but no. I'm a Cowboys fan. I love the Cowboys too. So.
And then you go along with the Cleveland sports otherwise?
I do. Yeah, I'm an Indians fan. I love the Indians. Yeah,
okay.
So I'll still watch Cleveland stuff for sure.
Do you? And we don't have to discuss this if you don't want. Do you have any thoughts about if they should? We can talk about other things, but I know, like somebody on our show, he used to play for the Indians, and he's like, "Look, I get it. It's not my favorite thing. The idea of them changing their mascot, but it seems like, I know no decision has been made, it seems like that's kind of where we're moving."
I think it's ridiculous, to tell you the truth. I really do. I mean, I'm all for supporting everybody and equality and the whole 9 yards, but just this world has gone so far directionally just crazy with, whether it's COVID related stuff or, just all this Black Lives Matter stuff, people every life matters, every ethnicity matters, everything. It's been this way for Lord knows how many hundreds of years. To up and just change everything now because somebody's hot button is pushed, I think it's going off the board a little bit too much. I really do.
Okay, and so what I'm always curious about this, because I always tell people, like, I love the conversations, even if like you disagree, it's just, how do you have conversations that are actual conversations, not just like, I know social media is the worst for people just yelling at each other. How do you have conversations with maybe people who disagree with you that is an actual conversation as opposed to a you're ignorant or because that's what people throw out there.
It's horrible. Well, first of all, I don't think people talk too much like this anymore face to face. I think our human interaction has just gone to shit, for lack of a better term. So I think we just all need to just speak your mind, but just do it in a way that you're not offensive, being super upfront and offensively to someone, and anything's fair game.
Why do you think that seems to be so hard to come by, though?
I honestly don't know. I think everybody's afraid to offend. I think social media, like what you said, there's been people hide behind their screens. People hide behind all of this and just do super rude and offensive things that you would never dare do. Like if we're talking to one another across the table right here, you would just never dare say that or, just spit that out at somebody. And people hide behind all this social media stuff. And I think that's what's made all of this societal change just so far to the left or to the right. It's ridiculous.
Now, when you did a lot of stuff in WWE, it was before, I know obviously the internet and everything, but it was before like heavy trafficking in social media. Do you hear the feedback at that time? Because, we're being real right here. Sometimes people were not always super complimentary. And a lot of it was stuff like you said, they probably wouldn't say to your face. Did you avoid that? Did you hear it and ignore it? Like, how do you deal with that level of negativity when it involves you specifically?
You literally, first and foremost, you can't take anything personally. If you do, you're in the wrong industry, in the wrong business. So, I got thrown on national television a couple weeks, literally, after winning. And it was sink or swim, and I sunk a lot more than I swam at times. So you really just have to have a very thick skin and know, you know what? A couple of people's rude comments, if it's going to break you, again, you're just in the wrong industry or in the wrong business. You've got to take the good You've got to take the positive and just let that be your platform. And any of these little Debbie Downers or people who really dig and just try to get to you, you know what, you live and you learn. I could have folded. Sometimes I made mistakes, but instead you realize, you know what, I need to work harder and hone my craft, and that's what I do.
Did you feel stronger on the other side of it, short and long term?
Absolutely. You really just, I think some of the negativity too, in a way, I tried to take it more as constructive criticism than actually people just, you know, attacking or saying, oh, that match sucked, or whatever it may have been, or a bump, or whatever, and it's like, you know, if you were put in that, it's so much easier for people just to spit and spew that out at you. So a lot of which, you know, if it would have been 5 years later, I would have seen a lot more of that. So maybe I would have had to just kind of shield myself from it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I was there at a time when I remember I wrote Miss Jackie's Jargon for WWE.com, and that was one of the first kind of fan interactions. They were starting, of course, to do that, but that was one of the first kind of things to do. But yeah, now it's a whole different beast and a whole different ballgame. Some people take it way too much to heart. Some people are super addicted to it. It'll make you sick if you're living your life just surfing for compliments, and you've got a little bit more soul searching to do anyway. Yeah.
So
exactly.
you mentioned constructive criticism. Constructive criticism is interesting to me because it's helpful, but it can also sting the most.
Yeah.
Like, so we have a radio show, and when people are like, "Oh, your show sucks," I can dismiss that. But if they say, "I think that segment was poorly constructed because of X, Y, and Z," I was like, "Oh man, that kind of hurts a little bit." So
right?
did you find that when you would get feedback that you're like, oh dang, that kind of hurts a little bit because it makes sense. Like, it helps, but it hurts too.
Exactly, and that's why you kind of have to filter through and weed out the stuff that you know that will help you, and then the stuff that just, yeah, it might sting for a second, but again, it all builds character in the end. So it's just a matter of how much you let it get to you. So I wouldn't let it get to me.
Now, luckily what I always tell people on the show is I'm fueled by their negativity, so I was like, bring it on, I can handle it all. Not to ruin or give spoiler alerts for any future travel plans, but maybe you end up in Germany at some point.
Right,
What all do you still do, or what all do you work on in the wrestling scene?
Honestly, not much of anything right now.
Okay.
I mean, I like I said, I stay on top of health and fitness. It's a way of life for me, and all my 4 kiddos are super athletic, and my boyfriend who ride bikes, I mountain bike like crazy with him, just started doing that about 6 months ago, and it's amazing. It's one of the honestly, I mean, wrestling was tough to learn. Mountain biking is super hard too. Being on the trails and literally like jumping up. So just staying on top of challenging myself, really, I think is the main thing. Just having fun with life. I'm at a good point right now, honestly. We've gone through a lot of tough crap over the last few years, but you know, you live and you learn, and God sends people your way for reasons, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm at a good point in time in my life where I just want to make sure my kids are happy and healthy. So.
As long as you're in a good point, I'm just going to shamelessly fish for a compliment. What if I told you a couple years ago I weighed more than 400 pounds?
No, you didn't.
Yes,
really?
I did.
Oh my God,
100%.
What'd you do?
So, like you said, like I realized it's okay to eat, like let's say Freebirds or Taco Bell every now and again, but you don't follow it up the next night with Pizza Hut and then Taco Bell. And so like, then you make your chicken, or you know, we can make hamburgers or whatever it is. And so changed a lot of the way I eat, got off my butt and did some.
Good for you.
I can show you before and after picture. I swear 100% for real. But as long as you said you were into fitness, I was like, I'm going to shamelessly fish for a compliment right here.
You did really good. I'm proud of you.
Thank you very much.
How long did it take you to transition?
So, I mean, it feels like mentally it's an ongoing transition, but it took about a little bit more than a year to kind of get to a spot where I felt like this is a good, and then I might have gone a little too far. And my mom, I remember she was taking me to the airport and she goes, so is it at all possible that maybe you could gain like 10 or 15 pounds? And I was like, yeah. We kind of got to the determination where, ooh, this is not a good look. We went too far. And so the last year's been kind of like finding the healthy balance. And obviously with the pandemic, that tricks it up. But bought an exercise bike for the house. So, you know, like I go to the gym some now, but there was a time when like, I don't know if I totally want to go to the gym. Now I feel more comfortable kind of bouncing around. But so I got the bike, so we're sticking with it. But it's kind of about finding the balance. So
what did you find was the hardest part? The diet or working out?
it was the
or
diet,
for
because
sure, right?
for one thing, you can motivate yourself with a variety of things on that bike, on the treadmill, lifting weights or whatever. But when you're like, you don't get to have pizza, it's hard, because that's the one that did me in.
Yeah.
The way one of my counselors talked to me, says, what food do you love that doesn't love you back? And I was like,
That's a good one.
that's brilliant. I was like, it's pizza for sure. And so I think that part is the harder part, but I kind of made the adjustment where now, like, it feels more normal, whereas not eating something kind of junky was the outlier.
Yeah.
Now it's the normalcy, and the flip side is the outlier.
Good
So
for you. I'm super proud of you. I know we just met, but I'm very proud of you.
are you
Good job.
really glad you came on to do an interview that turned into an interview about me?
I love it. I went to school for broadcast journalism. So
Where did you go to school?
University of Toledo.
Okay.
Ohio. So I was there for 3 years. I was just like dug my claws into my major, and then that's when I went to the Tough Enough show on MTV. So my whole life got turned upside down, and it's all snowballed.
I really thought you were about to start singing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air intro, because that's totally from that. I was like, this is going to be amazing. So, okay.
Turned upside down. Yeah, right.
So the last thing I really wanted to ask you, by the way, there's a weird theory out there that, as long as we're just going all over the place in this interview, that none of that stuff really happened in the Fresh Prince, that he died on that basketball court, and that taxi was the guy taking him to heaven, and that's why he lives in Beverly Hills. And
Are you kidding me?
I mean, nobody ever confirmed that. That's just a weird fan theory.
I like that story, though. That's a good story.
I kind of do, too. Now, you mentioned Tough Enough. I know. Go back, watch some episodes. We'll talk again about this.
Yes.
We'll do a Fresh Prince podcast.
Oh, that'd be great. I love it.
So you mentioned Tough Enough. If we can go back, can you walk us through, like, what were you like? What was your life like at that time? Because you said, hey, I'm going to be on this show. Holy crap, I'm going to win this show. Oh my God, I'm going to be on national TV. Like, what was that? I mean, 3 months, year? What was that period like?
It was really just going by the seat of my pants, honestly. It was figuring things out, even though I'm still figuring crap out at almost 39 years old.
Oh, we all.
Right? Still trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. I do sell new homes now, though. So if you need a new home, I can sell you a new home.
Man, where were you a year ago? I bought a house in January.
Oh, crap. What builder? Oh, awesome.
I can't remember the builder. I probably should, but big year, got married as well. But you know what? We've talked enough about me. Let's focus on you. This is not about me.
So yes, with Tough Enough, it was one of those things where, woke up one morning, realized, I remember my dad very vividly saying, Jackie, when the hell are you going back to school? And then I remember telling him, well, Dad, if I win this is my contract when he's like, what? And his tune changed. No, my parents were they were questioning, what the hell are you doing? But they were very supportive. But it was really one of those things where I just woke up one day and realized, oh my God, this is actually happening. I'm doing something I've never done before in my life, and I don't think I'll have this opportunity come up again. So just decided, this is what I'm intended to do right now with my life. I'm a super competitive person. I love athletics. I ran all the way up through college. I ran cross country and track. So to be able to integrate that into my job, into a job that I was a tomboy growing up, like never literally the makeup, hair, always wore my track clothes to school, so it was a whole different genre I was getting into.
Because
so
you became like a sex symbol, if I can say.
Absolutely. It comes hand in hand with, being a diva or being a knockout. You got to know your role. So it really helped. I think I had to grow up pretty quickly, and like I said, we're all still learning as we go day in and day out, but every single day it was just a new experience, and I got to see the world and travel the world, meet people that I would have never in a million years met, and that's how I met my now ex-husband, and we've got 4 beautiful kids, and I wouldn't take anything back for the world, so.
And if you're looking for a house in the Allen or the greater Metroplex area, it's under Jackie Haas?
Correct, Jackie Haas. I work for Grand Homes. So
all right.
Yes, we'll put that plug in. Let my
Grand Homes in McKinney, Jackie Haas getting work done. Miss Jackie, thank you very, very much.
Thank you. It was